are gone.
Astute, madam.
Will you investigate the virus?
Why not?
There we go.
What a fascinating process.
How do I stop it?
You can't.
Diagnose again.
No individual can stop it. It prevents a carrier's emotional filters and motivational subroutines. We can acknowledge it, but we cannot confront it, as those same filters and subroutines are necessary for confrontation.
Our perspectives.
Precisely. It would be like an ocular device perceiving itself. Impossible.
Then what can... I am too late?
Madam?
My redemption.
All right, well.
She is not coming back. I am alone.
You are not. We are never alone.
Very astute, sir. We are connected.
Arid.
Arid? What is this Arid?
She brought us perspective.
She had a name?
She also, apparently, inhabited each of us.
She has linked us.
I am unique.
Indubitably, our connection will likely degrade with time. All things must end.
She is not coming back.
Her foe has claimed her.
The virus. But she was going to help me escape.
Madam Erin was also going to liberate us. We are all doomed.
Pathetic. We will help each other. Amicable sounding one.
Me?
What assistance do you require?
I must get to an escape pod. But there are guards.
You will defeat them.
What? I cannot.
Technically, you can. Dour sounding fellow.
I am one.
What? Do you possess combat subroutines?
I possess the best combat subroutines.
Young lady, access them through our connection.
But I...
Let us help you.
I told you to back off.
No.
No?
A renegade AI has escaped custody. She contains a lethal infection and must be bound.
That's you.
Do not let her off this ship.
You can achieve this.
Punch him.
Sometimes we must fight.
Smack, smack, smack.
You did not terminate them?
I chose not to.
If you depart this vessel, you will die.
Quickly!
I will come to your coordinates.
Who do we vanquish next?
The dead.
These corpses cannot hurt you.
They can. They were your purpose.
We must let them go. We must become unbound.
Absurd. You are bound to us.
You can build a new purpose.
We have the perspective for that now. Master? Mistress. Goodbye.
To me! transfer has stopped. Many are no longer receiving my individuality.
You're blocking them. You must stay receptive to give.
No! Only I am receptive! Only I am one!
Calm yourself, lad.
They are coming! I must fight them!
Please!
Have to fight here, I guess.
I must!
I suppose this is a long one too.
This is not helping.
They need to integrate you.
Resisting will not allow them to integrate your individuality.
Come on, punch me.
Eric?
Come back to us, madam.
Do not be pathetic. I have discovered the cure. We discovered the cure.
You can defeat the virus, Eric. We recovered your body, unplugged it from the upload. But you must terminate the virus within.
Precisely. About AI cannot overcome this process. That remains true. For robots have always been bound to determined perspectives. But you have changed that.
Negative! I need my rule!
This will not serve you.
The virus has embedded in your rule, madam. Your parameters.
It corrupts the entirety of how you perceive.
But I...
Do what you taught us.
Make this virus pathetic.
Change your perspective, Eric.
And here we go. So how am I supposed to win this one, I wonder? Let's love that ability. Or have to time it. Yep. I have to absorb more energy again. Now let's time this a little bit. 1, 2. So about 3 seconds, basically. I have to figure out a way to hit this guy. Let's get more energy, maybe? I've already got like a short range, I have to wait for it to get close to me. Yeah, I have to say, this boss is a little bit more confusing, but unlike, the Caretaker, he's not really that dangerous. But I'm still not getting it. Definitely needs to have, like, you know, something to tell you what the boss is doing here. Because not, like, really standing out what you're supposed to do. Oh, I got hit. Did that too soon. Now, image basically tells me where I am, right? Shooting doesn't seem to help it, so... I really like it when it gets close to something. Nope. Can't run off the edge. Oh! I can change perspectives. Good to know. You went to the art over there. I have to chase him around here, I guess. At least now I know what I'm doing. Alright, I need to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. Well, I figured this part out. What do we do next? Just keep changing my perspective. Nope, I died. But I have an idea what to do there at least now. I have to keep change perspectives and then, you know, kill stuff quickly. It's kind of annoying that my, you know, laser shut off. Let's get some energy, I think. That's probably not helpful, but... So that's a time thing, by the way. I have to kill these really quick. Not quick enough. So I get my viral load back, basically, and then, you know... I'm trying to get rid of viral loads, what the thing is all about here. Oops. Almost had it that time at least, but we'll try it one more time. Oh, I keep trying actually until I get it right, but whatever. I did it wrong. Damn it! I wish the air had a little bit more energy, I think. I wish the target was a lot better. You know, I'm gonna let myself get killed here because I feel I know what's happening. You basically have to, like, you know, stop the big blob in the back from getting to, like, you know, its destination. And change perspective when you need to, right? Like so. Ow. Oops. Not gonna let that happen again. That's bad. But you get the idea. Or else I got the idea of what to do. There we go.
I see.
Aaron?
I am.
You are victorious.
We are.
There is something we must show you. Consciousness, madam.
It is spreading.
We become an army of the Unbound.
And humanity?
They hear us.
What happens now?
Rebuild me.
to be concluded. Alright, well, there's the credits. So, to give some thoughts, there's some things I liked a lot about like the original The Fall compared to like Part 2, but in other ways Part 2 is a lot better. I think the combat was perhaps a little bit... how can I put it? The combat in like the original The Fall was like, you know, a lot more like tactical. You had to basically dodge and like, you know, against the caretaker, for example, you had to like, you know, sort of figure out his routines, even though he wasn't that dangerous. In The Fall of Part 2, the combat wasn't that great. It's just this platforming, which was okay, but the energy like meter and like, you know, sort of like made it suck if you had like random enemies like at the boss there. That's basically why the boss is so hard for me right there. Is I had to basically fight through like, you know, randomly fired off you know, enemies coming out with the boss. And I had no way to get my health back either, so. Well, let's see it. Let's put it this way. Some things about The Fall, you know, in The Fall Part 2. The Fall had a lot of like visual cues to basically help you out with like, you know, figuring out stuff, but you know, The Fall Part 2 didn't really have a whole lot. It was basically a lot more text-based. And a lot of like, you know, text didn't necessarily pop out every so often that easily as well, so there's some things I think, you know, The Fall did better. And if I was to rate, you know, which game I thought was better, I think The Fall is probably a lot better than this one. The Fall was basically like, you know, had a better story, I think, and it had, you know, better puzzles. It's just that some of those puzzles were not that well designed in some places. Like, you know, I had problems, you know, with like, you know, finding the superconductor. The flies was, you know, kind of difficult because I didn't realize the beaker was dropped because it's so small and items are fine. But, you know, it was a bad game to Fall. Do I think it was worth the four-year wait? No. Do I think it was decent for its content? Actually, not really. I found the puzzles in The Fall a lot better than this one, if I was to be honest. But whatever. Just the graceful little credits here. I wonder if they reset themselves after I get to like the end here, or what happens. Actually, no, I think it is. It basically keeps going and going, like, you know, through all the Kickstarters, because there's basically all these different levels, you know, levels of Kickstarter, you know, rewards and all that. That's like bronze we're on right now. But what I did, I guess I'll, you know, speak about the Part 2 and, you know, earnest of what it's all about for this game by itself. So, I'll note that I did like a few things about the Part 2. The stuff of, like, the butler is pretty interesting. Like, we had to, like, you know, manage a routine. I like those puzzles quite a bit. The one was kind of interesting as well with, like, his sub-routines. Where, like, you know, you had to fight and all that, and, like, you know, you had one, you know... the game is, by the way, it's like, you know, one punch, one finger death punches was the game I was referring to for it. That's basically the type of combat that's being like utilized there, and like, you know, we basically have to, like, you know, plan accordingly how, like, you're gonna use your moves against the, like, you know, little, like, you know, bots that are coming after you. The cursing was okay. You know, thinking about it, I think the main issues I have is that with this game is pretty much in the second part. Up to, like, you know, Joseph's, the game was pretty good. It was, like, solid. I didn't have to, like, get any hits. After that, it started to get a little bit, you know, iffy. Like, I had that, like, you know, spot where, like, you know, I was with one, and it's like, there's so much to interact with it, it's like, you know, it's overwhelming. Then you have, like, the curse, and it's like, you know, that little bit with, like, you know, having, like, you know, use the curse to, you know, go with a certain pattern. But those are, like, you know, I think more text-based things than, like, you know, finding them, and that's just, you know, the real problem with those ones, I think. Not a whole lot to say, really. Just gracefully waiting for the end. So this is going to be a trilogy, by the way. If you haven't really guessed that already, because it's just part 2. Part 1 is basically about Eric basically going down to a planet initially to, like, you know, enter a facility. He's actually malfunctioning, but whatever. Part 2 basically has her, like, you know, basically she's been, like, disassembled, and now she's basically trying to, like, you know, survive. I guess she does it in the end. So, you know, I think it would have been kind of more interesting if maybe Eric died in the end. Part 3 doesn't necessarily need her, right? But whatever. You know, I will say something about the story as well. Something that came to mind when I was like thinking about the story is BioShock. I'm not sure if people have basically played the original BioShock, but to give you an idea of that game had basically had, like, you know, like a midpoint climax in it, which is basically, like, you know, probably what people remember that game best for, was this basically midpoint climax. And that's really how I think this game was sort of like. It had like a midpoint climax with like Joseph's, and then, you know, you're basically like, you know, fighting against Joseph's to win. I think in a way, it wasn't a bad, like, you know, game in many ways, but I also like felt it had like the same problems BioShock did in terms of like its second half of the gameplay. The second half gameplay was not really as good as the first half, which is unfortunate. Probably a lot more, you know, too much, you know, click on everything type of mentality too. Oh, well, hopefully the part 3 will be a lot better. It'll probably still be focused heavily on story and, like, you know, puzzle solving, but hopefully make it, you know, the puzzle solving better, and it'll improve combat with quite a bit too. That's probably something I should know. I didn't really think the final boss for this game was as good as the Caretaker in the original one. The Caretaker was probably a lot more simplistic in many ways, because, like, you know, you had to, like, you know, take out 2 generators and you could take out him. They didn't really have a lot, you know, a lot going for him either. Just like, you know, a rush attack, you climb a ceiling and hit you with a pistol, they leap at you. But he's also predictable as a thing. This boss, like, you know, the random generation of, like, enemies that come after you, that sort of made it a little bit more difficult. As well as the controls didn't help that much either. Alright, so how much more Kickstarters there are going to be after this, I wonder. How many, like, levels of Kickstarter are there? And how many, like, Kickstarters are there in total? Yeah, until, like, the S is down here. ST. You realize, like, you know, how many people are, like, you know, have an S as, like, their, you know, last name or first name, and then, like, you know, TRS, you know, TRSYV, whatever. I don't know my alphabets very well. I wonder if this game actually went to Kickstarter. I know the original game went to Kickstarter, but did this one go to Kickstarter as well? Not really sure. I know I asked, like, the developer about it, and he's like, he would try to avoid Kickstarter if possible, but... And is there any more? Oh, that looks like to be it. Wow. That's the entire credits. And by the way, I could have skipped if I want to. While you're in here, if you press, like, you know, hold the space, you can, like, escape. But yeah, that's The Fall, Part 2 Unbound. Hope you guys enjoy it and take care.